Hello everybody and welcome to the Sound Test Room US, I guess. My name is Colin and I'm the other half of thesoundtestroom.com. I got a hold of Doug a few months ago because he's been doing his series on YouTube for about 3 years now, and I thought he could definitely use a platform of his own. And I wanted to try and help develop that for him. So we've been working together ever since then, and we both kind of figured that, while I'm trying to help operate the site, that I should get in on the fun here and make some tutorials of my own. So that's kind of where we're at today. The sound test room is Doug's thing and forever and always will be. The guy's just been awesome to work with. So I'm certainly not trying to step on any toes here or anything. I'm just kind of trying to share what I know as well. So I thought for my first tutorial, it'd be fun to pair the iPad with the OP-1 synth. And we're going to be using MIDI Sequencer to control the OP. So I am using a hardware synth, but these same principles can apply to anything that has a MIDI learn function. So MIDI Sequencer is very powerful. It can control multiple things at the same time. But if you want to just stick with your iPad, you can use this to control iMany, Animoog, Magellan, anything that has a MIDI learn. Same thing with desktop applications. If you have a synth inside of Ableton or something, this will work for that. Other pieces of hardware. Anything you can assign the channel and CC to, MIDI Sequencer will be able to control that parameter. So yeah, like I said, it's a powerful app. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. So we'll go ahead and launch it here. It's going to open up right into our input-output screen. These are both white, indicating that they're active. It's sort of grayed out if it's not. We're only concerned with output. So everything looks good. We'll exit out. And this is MIDI Sequencer. There are other tutorials out there about this app, so I'm not going to get, too in-depth with the controls for it, but you'll learn enough today to get you going. So it opens up right away into our notes screen here. We've got everything just defaulted across C3 across the board there. Right below that we have our gate control, our note length. Everything is at 80%. Velocity defaults to the maximum. Channel is at 1 all across the board there. The awesome thing about MIDI Sequencer is if you want to control multiple synths at the same time here, you can set each step to its own, sort of at an awkward angle here, to its own channel. So, you could have step 1 control the OP here, step 2, send that to a different synth and get kind of 2 sequences going, 3 sequences going, whatever you like, and just sort of experiment that way. So it's a very powerful app. It can, control many things at the same time. Then we have CC1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'll kind of cover those in a second here. So let's go back to channel. Everything's at channel 1. We want to make sure that the OP here is at channel 1 as well. So if you've never, adjusted your MIDI channel, the way to do that is to go to Shift-Com, and it opens up into this screen, which I'm sure you're familiar with, and hit Shift again, right on the OP1, and it goes right away to MIDI channel 1. So that's what we want. It goes 1 through 16. There's no Omni mode. So you definitely need to make sure that you are configured, the same on, both the OP and the sequencer here. So again, everything looks good. So if you're not hearing any sound, that might be the reason why. But otherwise, you could probably just even skip this step because this will default to 1, and I think the OP will as well. So let's go back to our synth engine. I've got desynth open right now. Just kind of a straighter patch. I know desynth can get pretty wild. So we're going to be using our MIDI LFO on it, which is Shift 4 in order to access that, and that controls MIDI. So we're going to be doing that. And let's just get a little sequence going here in MIDI Sequencer. As soon as I hit play, it's going to be going. So it's really as simple as that. You can be up and running in a matter of seconds. So we'll go to our key scale just to get something a little bit more musical. Let's pick a minor and F minor here. So yeah, so let's hit play. So as you can see, this is just kind of a straight, boring sound here. Let's add our drawing control, this little pointed finger, and get something a little bit crazier going. So yeah, I'm not going to spend a whole time messing with the actual sound of the sequence. This is just a tutorial here. But yeah, so we're already off and running. So, you can start playing with the parameters here on the OP1. Go back to our synth engine. Play with our filter here. Much like getting an internal sequence going with the OP, now you can really start to have fun. That's kind of a funky sound. You know, I don't know, the possibilities really kind of open up from here. What I think the real fun begins is when we start using the MIDI Sequencer app to start making these parameter changes for us. And that's, you know, what's really awesome about this. So we're going to go to our MIDI LFO, and if you've never really used this, the way that this works is this is controlling different parameters on the OP-1. So if you hit Shift, it highlights this middle section, and you can see the wavy line is our synth engine. This other wavy line is our ASDR. I'm just going to stop that for a second here. That's our ASDR. On number 3 here we have our effects engine will be being controlled with the MIDI LFO, and then this is our mixer. And we're going to go right back to CC1 here and CC1 down here. So this says 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the actual CCs. This just kind of refers to, you know, the number of the button inside a MIDI sequencer. So this doesn't necessarily have to be channel 1. We can go to options here to set these. And this can be, you know, I have it 1, 2, 3, 4 because that's how the OP is. But this can be, you know, 0 to 127, just like normal CC. So if you're using this with Magellan or anything like that, you want to make sure that this is set to the CC that you want. You know, don't rely on these numbers in this screen. Rely on these numbers. So yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's turn on channel 1. And it's going to be, you know, a flat line straight across here. What are we controlling? We have our synth engine, a red parameter, which would be our the outer one, the mode here. So yeah, let's actually use the filter. We'll make it, in order to change that, adjust this knob, and you can see it's the colors in between, which is basically essentially hitting shift and that color. So the color in between blue and green is shift blue, you know, that parameter. So this will be our shift red parameter on our synth engine, which will be our filter. So let's get the sequence going again. And you can hear it's already kind of gotten a little quiet because it's turned down our filter. The one thing about this that is a bit of a bummer with the OP is that I can't tell when it's going to actually automate this. So as you can hear, the sound is definitely changing, but this isn't moving, which it's been doing sometimes and sometimes it hasn't. So I'm not quite sure what affects that. But if you're not sure, you can see here there's a little dot just below CC, and that's moving. So this is always automated, and that way you can get a sense to make sure that it's actually working. But like I said, sometimes this moves and sometimes it doesn't, and I'm not sure what affects that. But yeah, so already, I mean, you know, this is kind of how we have it going. So we're just making a little filter sweep here. Let's so let's go from low to high. That's a little too much. You know, that's the other thing too. It's all about experimenting. So sometimes, you know, if you don't like the sound you're getting, just try something else. Try drawing in a different wavy line. So yeah, so let's say we wanted to now affect, you know, change the parameter. So let's move our, sorry. This is our effects engine now, controlling the red parameter. So I've got nitro as our effect. And there you go. Now you can see this is automated. It's moving. So like I said, yeah, I'm not sure why, you know, why it doesn't have nitro here, but not on the synth screen. But yeah, so again, you know, just go back to this and make sure that your little dot's moving, and that'll indicate that that you're going. So yeah, so we got a little filter sweep going here. Why don't let's automate another synth engine parameter. We'll go to green, CC2, and we have our synth engine. We'll just automate. Let's automate the green parameter, which is our square to sine wave kind of thing, the oscillator. And we want to go to CC2 down here, make sure that we have it turned on, and go back to options and turn on CC2. So you can already hear it change the tone drastically. Again, because we have a flat line, let's go back to this and kind of draw that in. So this is moving for us. So, you know, like I said, it doesn't happen every time, and sometimes it does. But yeah, so you kind of see it now. We're going from square to sine, all within our sequence. You know, to have some more fun with this, let's just change this flat and get a normal tone. You know, you can change the transposition here. If you want to get like a bass sound going, see what your patch sounds like bassy, or you know, you can change it up higher. You know, if you really wanted to have fun and you were recording into a DAW or something, you know, you can actually just physically move this as it's recording. Kind of see what sounds you get, and if you get a little piece you like, you could loop it, you know. Possibilities really open up here. We're at 60 tempo, 60 BPM. Let's move it up to 120. Can be a little finicky to get the exact right number, but if you're determined, you will be able to do it. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay, I mean, easier said than done, I guess. But, you know, this is sort of the warts and all approach that Doug, you know, uses. So, yeah, like I said, you know, really the fun opens up once you get the parameters on MIDI Sequencer controlling various things on the OP. So we'll draw in another little wavy line here. We'll go back to our filter and change that kind of tone. Let's change our velocity, I'm sorry, our gate length. And now we kind of got a little blippy or chip tune kind of sound going to it or something. You know, you can start playing around on here. So it's a little quieter, but you know, yeah, like I said, you know, the fun really opens up here when you start combining these things and you know, physically turning the knobs yourself while also having MIDI Sequencer turn the knobs for you, you know. So yeah, so this is my first tutorial, so you know, I hope I was helpful. I hope that you guys found this informative. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to get a hold of me. You know, leave a comment. You know, feel free to email. I'll be happy to answer any questions I can. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to get started here making some tutorials, and I hope this was you know, productive. So yeah, so I hope to be doing many more here, and we'll see you again real soon, I hope. So, all right, everybody, thank you very much. Take care.